What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and we're going to read some of the transcripts that Crypto Law, which is John Deaton's Twitter handle for his law firm, in which uh, it's the transcript from the hearing on April 6th. And here, let's just take a quick look. So, Mr. Bliss, I want to make clear that this is my understanding of the current situation. And I don't want to be over technical, but the SEC itself, my understanding, it has not taken an official position. There is no action that it took to say Bitcoin is not a security, Ether is not a security. Okay? So, there's a very direct response to what's actually happening in this case. The SEC is trying to leave it kind of open ended so they can go in either direction, but it seems like being forced to take a certain side of what they're trying to argue here in this case. And excuse me. So we'll see what happens, but they're really not being straightforward and taking a side on what position they're trying to go after. Now, Ratha Kahneman also posted this, and this is from the transcript as well. He says, seems important. Ripple has docs from exchanges and hedge funds that met with the SEC, made their case with XRP was not a security, felt comfortable using it, and were not told otherwise by the SEC. Expected, but cool to see docs are in hand. And he got this from Crypto Law, and it says, now we have already found documents from third parties going to various market participants like cryptocurrency exchanges and hedge funds, met with the SEC specifically seeking guidance on whether they could list and transact in XRP along with Bitcoin and Ether, or whether XRP had to be treated as a security. They presented their own analysis to the SEC about why XRP was not a security. After the meeting, they proceeded to list XRP on their exchanges or invest in XRP in their funds. So obviously, they reached the conclusion that XRP was not a security, and this was not told otherwise by the SEC. So it seems like a lot of these hedge funds and exchanges did have meetings with the SEC, and they did seek guidance, as said here. And after their own analysis has been presented on why XRP was not a security, they went ahead and listed it, and it's not like the SEC stopped them from doing it, you know. And here he comments, Brad's lawyer mentioning their concrete examples that market players left meetings with the SEC that it wasn't a security. Okay? And you guys can go ahead and read this. Now, his last point is the judge's discovery ruling seemed very favorable. I'm going to grant in large part the defendant's motion for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP external communications with the SEC. Everyday internal emails were denied, but not internal memos / interpretations within the SEC. So this is getting interesting. And a month from now, we should see whether, well, first of all, Gary Gensler's confirmation, which is going to happen in April. Well, we'll see if he gets confirmed. But also, if you haven't watched Jeremy Logan's video, I would recommend that you do, because he gives some very good, he breaks it down very well and says that he could see something happening, whether either the SEC decides to reach a settlement and end this lawsuit before it makes them look bad, or if they continue this. We'll see. Who knows? But it could be looking good. It looks very good for the next month. And it's just a matter of waiting and seeing. Now, while all this is taking place, I want to remind you guys that CBDCs are actively being discussed around the world. Okay, I know how big this Ripple case is with the SEC, but we can't forget what's happening, because it's gaining traction more and more and more. Julia Chatterley had this interview with Reza Bakir, if I'm not mispronouncing his name, which is the governor of the state bank in Pakistan. Okay, And everyone uses these trigger words: financial inclusion, money laundering, counterterrorism, all these things. Now he said something very interesting here, which I'm going to play for you. But let's not forget what's happening with these central bank digital currencies, which are ramping up in discussion.
To the point that you made, as far as digitization, where
right
people are generally tech savvy, and it's a market that's waiting to burst as far as digitization is concerned. Julia, during COVID, we did one thing, which is to eliminate fees on interbank transfers. And the impact of that was phenomenal. For the quarter that ended in December, we had growth of about 150 to 200% compared to a year ago on mobile banking transactions. For internet banking transactions, that number is around 100 to 150% growth. So it is a market, 225 million people, approximately, a very young market and a very tech-savvy market that is very, very fertile for such digital innovation. So we are very open and we embrace any global mobile payment operator that wants to come to Pakistan. Yeah, you're redefining the role of a central bank, I think, and we wish you well and your people well. So great to chat to you, the governor of the central bank.
And so we see here that they're welcoming CBDCs, and it's just a matter of time before they say, okay, let's go ahead and get it rolling. I want to remind you guys that this is taking place everywhere, okay? And that it's a matter of when it happens, not if it happens. Alex Cobb posted this. He said, this is where we are. And he could be right. We could be this little thing right there, that little blip. And we're ready to, go forward. But we'll see. Let's remain level-headed. But know what you own, because that's the most important case. If it brings utility, then you're good. Hope this episode has brought you some value. Like and subscribe. And we're just at the beginning of something huge that's on the horizon. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.